Who? We ready? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Motivation to youth.
Oh, that's right. It is my favorite day of the week. It is Monday. It is Mic'd Up Monday, as usual. You got Coach Mo in the building. I got my same special guest that I had on last week to come in again. I think we had a blast talking about those things. I think we are going to be talking about pretty much the same things we talked about last week. We are going to talk a little bit about Hernando County middle school football. We will then talk a little bit about the high school on Fridays. Then we'll talk, of course, Saturday football, which is the college football world. Then we'll talk a little NFL. So we have a lot going on. I will say a few new things are coming up. The intro is going to change a little bit, as you could tell. Some of it's already changing. We are adding some music, some different kind of music, and some different shots to that. We're working on that right now. We're going to have special guests every week. And also, I was in talks with somebody today to possibly bring Mic'd Up with Coach Mo to the GCSN, which is the Gulf Coast Sports Network. And also, in that, we are also going to bring other folks along with us. And this is a perfect segue right into our guest here.
Hey, Coach Mo, how you doing today? Going great, fantastic. How are you? Nice. Right. Yeah, so I was at the Palm Harbor versus Largo game. It was the first district game, obviously, of the season for both teams. And while Palm Harbor was favored to win that game at home, Largo actually came out and they played really well. Now, I had already seen Largo about 5 weeks before in their game against Pinellas Park, and they couldn't get anything going. But they have another quarterback now. They actually used three in this game. One's a freshman, and he can run around a lot. The other one's more of a regular pocket passer, and the other one's kind of like a mix. So they have a bunch of different options, and they have some athletes on that team. and Largo played really well. Like, I mean, I could see Largo definitely getting into the playoffs in that district. And that was a huge first win for them on the road there in Palm Harbor. Right. Yeah, there's Class 6A now. Their actual district is 6A10. And you're right. I mean, they didn't even have a field that first year in '96. They played at Clearwater High School, and they had Coach Jenkins there at the start. Then the late Coach June was there for about 5 years before he passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, they've had a lot of ups and downs, but they've certainly settled in recently, and they've become a fixture into almost or getting into the playoffs every year. So they always have something to play around once the calendar turns into October. So I still think that even though they lost this game to Largo, Palm Harbor still has a great chance of getting into the postseason. I mean, they can go in as a wild card if they don't go in as the division winner, but they need to win a couple more of these district games, and I think it sets them up nicely. Now they have Eastlake coming in, and that's going to be a tough one. And if they lose that game in 2 weeks to Eastlake, really their chances of making the playoffs are not good. But at least they do have the team that can compete, and they've got some great players that I didn't know about. I mean, Chris Silvestro is their quarterback. He and his brother Joey are both have a lot to do with that offense. They have a couple of really good running backs too, and they're young. So other than Silvestro, who took over for their quarterback that graduated last year, they do have a very young team, and they're all pretty good. So I'd be looking to see Palm Harbor. If they don't make the playoffs this year, they're going to be in it within the next couple of years as well. Well, I mean, Harris, their playmaker on offense, also comes in and plays on defense as well. I think Largo and Eastlake technically are because of Largo's win there on Friday. I would have had Palm Harbor and Eastlake, but I think now with that win, that gives them the heads up. That's why it was such a crucial game for them, winning on homecoming for Palm Harbor, ruining that game for them. But Eastlake is just one of the best teams. I mean, right now they're fifth in Pinellas County in scoring offense. They're averaging 34.4 points per game. That's pretty good for Eastlake. They have Eli Millian, who's a great quarterback, and of course one of the top receivers and running back tandems in all of Pinellas County. Brian Ford just ran for 300 yards last week. That was his highest performance of the year. But they also have Jeremiah Cooper, who's one of the top receivers as well. So I have Eastlake and Largo going in potentially as 1 and 2. That matchup between those two teams is going to be crucial coming down in a couple of weeks. So I see both of them going in at 6-8-10. It was 30-3. They couldn't really get much going, but River Ridge is undefeated. I mean, they're 6-0. They're a great team. I think last year they started out 5-0 as well in the first half of the year. So, credit River Ridge. I mean, like we were talking about last week, them as well as Clearwater are probably the two teams that will go out of that district. Countryside still has to play Clearwater in a couple of weeks, and Clearwater showed I will be at that game in about 3 weeks or so. Yes, that's right. At Clearwater, and I mean, obviously, Jalen White is probably the best all-around player in Pinellas County. I mean, that Clearwater team scores a lot of points. They also played really well. Their worst game was against Lakewood, but then we know Lakewood's probably the best team in Pinellas County, besides the Catholic schools. So I see the Clearwater probably winning that district. Well, maybe not. I mean, River Ridge could. That it's going to go down to that game to see who wins that particular district in Class 5A. Right. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. Ooh, yeah. And that was the one I was telling you that Ford ran for 300 yards in that game on only 13 carries, by the way. That's insane. Near where near where we used to live, I was going to say those games were near our area, near Valrico. Yeah. Ooh, hmm. Killed Leigh Gibson. Lato, yeah. The Lato King, the Lato, what are they called? The Lato, I can forget. Oh, yeah, right. Oh, man. At Armwood. Right. Oh, boy. I mean, and but see, in CCC, they average 40 points a game. That's third best in Pinellas County, behind only Lakewood and St. Pete Catholic. Right. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, Dunedin. Well, Dunedin was actually favored to win this game, and they were expected to blow out Hudson. They're the Cobras, right? I believe is what they are. Uh, I don't know. I don't know much about Hudson. I mean, I know a little bit more about Dunedin because they're in Pinellas County, but Dunedin's not been favored a lot. If you've been following Pinellas County over the last few years, they have not been favored a lot recently in many games, and they were in this one. And it looked like Hudson was going to upset them, but Dunedin came back in a huge district game. Now, I don't see Dunedin going anywhere because it is a weaker district, but I mean, Hudson's just unfortunately one of those teams that just can't. Yeah, exactly. So. Right. Okay. Right. Mhm. The Gators. Yeah. At Countryside. Right. I don't know that much about them. I haven't seen them since the Drew Weatherford days, but you remember that was over 20 years ago. The two Weatherford brothers that played there, and we beat them in Countryside to basically win that district. Right? That was when that big day when Mr. Schroeder had just passed away, and the two and their sons just came out and pretty much single handedly helped win that game. I mean, it was so emotional. It was so awesome. It's one of the best games I think I've ever been a part of. And not just because of that, but because it also had district ramifications at the time. Yeah, you did. I know. It was. Yeah. And that's who I'm going to see this week, by the way. Uh, Osceola. They're little. We call it the backyard brawl. On paper, it's not the they're playing Seminole. It's not, and it's not the best game on paper, but it is including two Pinellas County teams that we haven't covered yet. Now, of course, Seminole might be the worst team in Pinellas County. They had come into the week. I'm sorry, they had come into this past week having only scored 6 points the entire year. They had been shut out, I think, in their first four games. But it is a big rivalry between those two schools. You know, because the schools are separated by a couple miles, if that. They're the two schools in the Seminole area in Central Pinellas County, so it's always fun to see those two schools play, even though they both are not that good. And Osceola's probably going to win that game big. No, I'm serious. Osceola's probably going to come out and win that game big, but you never know with a rivalry game. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, not surprised. That's Southeast Bradenton. Remember Southeast Bradenton is where they're located. That they used to be a powerhouse too, 20 years ago, and I mean I'm not surprised that they won that game. You know, well, what surprises me, you mentioned Sun Lake. I think Sun Lake got blown out. You said, but I think Sun Lake aren't they the second highest scoring team in Pasco County behind Zephyr Hills? Second or third, they're up there before that disappeared. Oh, so they're not going to be the Rams anymore? Oh, okay. Kind of sounds like what Dixie Hollins did. Remember, Dixie Hollins completely rebranded. They dropped the Dixie from their names, and they're not the Rebels anymore. Now they're the Dixie. They're the Hollins Royals. So, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Oof. Uh, hmm. Yeah, that's. I don't think I'm going out on a limb to say the Countryside's going to beat Golf pretty badly. I, th- I think that game is at Countryside this year. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They have a Lakewood is second in the county in scoring. They score almost 46 points a game. They lead all the public schools in the county, and they have a great coach, Dante Fowler Sr. Of course, his son, Dante Fowler Jr., plays in the NFL. I think for the Cowboys, right? Yeah. And he went to Lakewood High School, and they produce great talent. I mean, TJ Tampa, who plays for the Baltimore Ravens, also went to Lakewood, and not just in football. I mean, Bo Bichette, the baseball player, went there too. Oh, okay. Mhm. A little bit of poke. Oh, wow. Right. Yeah. You mentioned out of state, and you talked about Lakeland beating Lake Gibson the other day. Lakeland has lost one game this year, but they're undefeated in the state of Florida. Now, their only loss was when they traveled out to De La Salle, out to California to play that, and that was a close game that they lost in the last minute. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of dumb. There's a bunch of them. I mean, I did the one that I know is the one in Ramsey, New Jersey, Don Bosco Prep. But that. Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh gosh.
So I don't know. That's my thought.
It was a crazy stampede. I saw it immediately after the last play was made. I mean, you saw guys running from every direction.
Yeah,
I mean, it was crazy.
it was. It was. I'm not. I was. I'm not a fan. I didn't. I didn't. That was one part of the the show that or the game that I was not particularly fond of, and I don't think Coach Norville was either. But
Right.
I mean, here's the thing, man. I heard the post game interviews, and a couple of the players were saying we needed that. We needed that. Like, I think that's going to spark us to move on for the rest of the season. Especially with the game this week against Miami.
That's a big
My
game.
thought has changed about that game, but I think Miami has definite edge on that game, and I think they might win that game. But only dropping to 18th, I think the reason for that is obviously that big win against Alabama helped that out. So I don't know. What do you think about that game?
Well, no, I mean, I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights because it was a Friday night, obviously, doing high school. But I think that losing to a team in the conference like Virginia, they now need to come out, and it's almost a must-win, I would think, against Miami. If they were both undefeated, and one of them would be getting their first loss this week, and I'd say, okay, it's only your first loss. You're losing to a team in the top 10, and you can move on from this. But I think Florida State now must hesitantly win this game, and it's going to be tough against Miami because if you lose 2 in the ACC like this, it's going to be very difficult to get into that 12-team playoff.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it happening, man. Even though it's my team, I just don't see it happening. We'll see. We'll see what they can do. The other Friday night game, also a ranked team. Arizona State took care of TCU 27-24. But some of the other notable games that I wanted to talk about on the show today, of course, was Ohio State took care of Washington. Obviously, we knew that was going to happen. The LSU Ole Miss game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a great game.
Right.
I think that Ole Miss now being ranked 4th,
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. That's crazy. I don't know. Can LSU beat Ole Miss? I think that's the real question.
It's only their first loss of the year,
Yeah.
and they already do have a couple of quality wins too. So, but I just don't know. I mean, ever since Brian Kelly took over that program, things have seemed to change, and not for the better. I don't know. It's maybe a feeling that I get with LSU. Still a great defense, one of the more suffocating defenses, I think, and you have to have like that when you play in the SEC. But I mean, are they going to be able to run the gauntlet like down the stretch? Because the SEC is the hardest conference. We know that. And I don't know if LSU has the staying power, especially after losing to Ole Miss.
Yeah, I definitely don't think they do have the power to be able to do that. A huge win for your team, Oregon. I think that was a good, definitely solid performance, and really catapult them into the second place, 30-24 over Penn State, man.
It's crazy because ever since Oregon joined the Big Ten, a lot of people will say, well, they're going to struggle to try to kind of adjust to. They have yet to lose a conference game in the regular season. Oregon's 11-0, and they've only lost 3 games under Dan Lanning since he took over. All right, and he lost his first game when they played Georgia in a neutral field. So since that first game that they got throttled, they've only lost 2 games. And one of them is against Washington in the year that they lost out in that last Pac-12 championship. But they haven't lost. Now they have the longest winning streak at home, and they also own the largest road winning streak at 7-0 in all of college football. So Dan Lanning has turned that program around. A lot of people think that Dante Moore now, with the injury to Mateer, the quarterback at Oklahoma, is the in front line to potentially win the Heisman Trophy. He is the odds-on favorite right now, according to CBS Sports. Right behind him, you would have a guy like maybe Carson Beck from Miami, who's playing really well. Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver from Ohio State. I mean, he's otherworldly. He's the best receiver in the country. But then you also have other guys like Ty Simpson at Alabama. If they can continue to get quality wins like they did against Georgia, I think that first loss to Florida State is going to seem like an afterthought if Alabama can continue to play the way that they did in breaking that 33-game winning streak at home in Sanford Stadium in Athens.
Yeah, that was the other game that I wanted to talk to you about, the Alabama-Georgia game. It was a humongous win, I think, for Alabama. I was shocked. But I don't know. I think Georgia doesn't score a lot. So not being able to score and playing a good team, they struggled, man, and it was tough. So I don't know. I don't know. I was hoping that it was that Georgia could pull it off. Obviously, I'm biased because I like the Dogs
right
in the SEC. But I mean,
Well, it was Ty Simpson's best game with Alabama, undoubtedly. Ryan Williams, who remember last year was a just turned 18-year-old freshman,
Yeah.
and as well as he did. I mean, this guy, like in a couple of years, is definitely a Heisman contender. Obviously, because and by the time he's a senior, he's going to be like a 4.5 year senior at that point. But yeah, Georgia doesn't score a lot of points, and Kirby Smart seems to have a hard time beating Alabama, no matter who the coach is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And, the last game that I'm going to talk to you about is a game that I stayed up actually pretty late to watch, was that Colorado BYU game. I don't know if you got a chance to
A
watch
little
it.
bit, yeah.
I mean, dude, like, I think Colorado's not bad, dude. Like, they're not bad. They have a few players who really stand out to me. And losing their starting quarterback and their receiver / cornerback. I mean, I think that in and of itself and being able to hang with some of these teams, dude, Dion's doing something right over there in Colorado. That's for sure.
Well, I think that the loss of Travis Hunter was probably worse for them
Yes.
than losing Shador Sanders. But I mean, look, BYU, huge win on the road, though. I mean, it's hard to go into Boulder. I don't care how good they are, and getting that win and staying undefeated. Now BYU is ranked at 23. So
and they were going back and forth. If you watch the game, they were
Right.
going back and forth. And Colorado
Right.
would score, then BYU would score, then Colorado would score. It was back and forth. I was like, man, this is going to be the game for Colorado to really show out. But unfortunately, they did not. And then lastly, I'll talk to you about the Iowa State, dude. Iowa State ranked now
Unreal.
14th. They took care of actually a decent Arizona team. 39-14. Also a game that I watched. Fifth. I can't really say his name. The quarterback for Arizona. I think he lost his number one weapon last year, right, to the Panthers in the draft. And I think that he just doesn't have that solid number one target to get again. McMillan was always there. He'd always make those great plays right when you needed them. And Fifth Foot doesn't have that this year. So or Fafita, yeah. I don't know how people.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Name. But he's their quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's short though. Which hinders him, but I think at the end of the day, Iowa State is impressive. Their defense is really good.
No, they are, and they have a tough task going into Cincinnati this week. The Bearcats are never easy to play. Iowa State, by the way, I think the only college team to have won games in different countries, because remember they won that first game in Ireland this year against Kansas State. But they're 5-0, and I can't wait to see them play Texas Tech, because I think whoever wins that game is going to win the Big 12, even though the Big 12 is a little weaker than the other conferences this year. But you have to have some representative in the playoff and it's going to be either Texas Tech, right, or Iowa State. It's got to be one of those two teams.
Dude, I'm almost positive it'll be Iowa State, man. They are unreal, man. I watched that game. At the beginning, I was like, oh, maybe Arizona has something for them, but at the end of the day, it was all Iowa State at the end. It just they kept pouring it on, dude. It was crazy. So.
And you know who their quarterback is, right?
For
Iowa State. His dad, Anthony Becht, used to play in the NFL.
Yeah, I was watching another game where who was it that I can't remember who it was. But speaking of games, I did also watch the Tennessee Mississippi State game, 41-34. I was shocked that Mississippi State hung in with a pretty good Tennessee football club, right, and taking it to overtime. So that game was interesting. Also, the Texas A&M and Auburn game. Did you see that one? It's 16-10.
Auburn hung in.
Yeah, for real, unbelievable.
In College Station.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah, I was watching that game. Unbelievable. And then, of course, Illinois, 22nd now, beating USC 34-32. So.
Yeah, but I don't think Illinois, I think, was one of those teams that got a lot of I don't know what the word is, but they certainly took advantage of being ranked high in the preseason polls, because I don't think they were as high as they were supposed to be. I mean, they got blown out the previous week to Indiana, and now Indiana in a couple of weeks goes to Oregon, and we'll see how good they are
Yeah,
against
because
that tough team.
I mean they beat Iowa, right, 20 to
Yeah.
15. So it
They
wasn't like
did.
they blew out that team, which you would
Yeah.
think an unranked team to an eighth ranked team. Well, they weren't eighth then, but the eighth
Right.
ranked team now, 20 to 15. That was just who knows? I thought that
And-
was kind of.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, Indiana, they for the first time in their school history have started the years back to back 5-0, which is very impressive, especially playing in the Big Ten. But ever since Kurt Signetti came in, he's changed the character of that team because Indiana used to be nothing for a long time, and
yeah.
now they're back in it. They were in the playoff last year. I don't think they'll be in it this year because I think the Big Ten has 3 teams in Penn State, Ohio State, and Oregon who will be in there. But still, give them credit for having turned that organization around.
Absolutely. So yeah, and then of course the Notre Dame just destroyed Arkansas 56-13. So nothing to talk about there. Georgia
The weirder
Tech,
thing,
what's that?
I was going to say, the weirder thing about that game was watching Notre Dame play at noon.
Yeah.
Over in Fayetteville. That was weird to me. How about Vanderbilt? Now, I know game day is going to be at the Vandy Alabama game this week. And the last time these two teams played, remember, Vanderbilt, a shocking win. Diego Pavia, we talked about him a little bit last week.
Yeah.
He's also, I think, a top 10 contender for the Heisman. I mean, the guy is unbelievable. He's a great talent. He's not a physical specimen by any means, but he can get it done. He knows how to play well. And, going back 80 years since 1945, Vanderbilt has only started 5-0 twice in the last 80 years. This is one of those 2 years. That's it.
Wow.
So think about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Yeah, but they ended up winning 55-35 over Utah State. I mean,
Yeah, it won't be that easy in Tuscaloosa this weekend.
No,
if they do win that game.
I think that's going to be the game of the week. I think for me,
Yeah.
I think another couple notable games this week, like you said, Iowa State against Cincinnati. We'll see how that do. One of the games that I really want you to keep an eye out for this week is that Texas at Florida game. I think that's going to be a much closer game than people would think. Then the other game, of course, the Florida State Miami game is, for me at least,
huge for especially. Yeah, and I think that the only reason why the Texas-Florida game is even contested at this time is just because Arch Manning has struggled. I mean, I know he's had one good game, but it was against a really bad team, right?
Yeah.
And he's been exposed a little bit. I mean, I know that the name recognition and everything that goes in there, and wanting to play for a major college like Texas, waiting under Quinn Ewers as the backup to finally now be the number one guy, he hasn't really shown what he can do.
Yeah,
I mean, he really has not.
I also don't think that he is what they, make him out to be. I mean, he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. You're at a huge school and you're ranked 9th. So, I mean, he's there. He's doing his thing. But at the end of the day, I think this week is going to be more of a test to see what they can do go into UF and see what they can do over there.
And it's gonna be hot too. That environment at the Swamp, playing at 3:30 in the afternoon, that's never easy for anyone. And if anything, maybe the physicality of the Gators could wear down Texas. I mean, I would not be surprised. It would be an upset, but I would not be surprised by any means if Florida wins that game.
Yeah, that would be a huge win for the Gators that they need this year.
They need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Their coach there is just
he needs it to save his job.
He does.
I mean, one week he's in, 1 week he's not. I mean, and the guy's just getting crucified out there, especially after losing to USF.
Yeah, rough, dude. Rough game, like rough to be that coach, in such a big conference and not producing like you get paid to do. So definitely going to be an interesting game. I'll be keeping my eye on that one. I don't think that Minnesota's going to do anything to Ohio State. And I think Texas A&M keeps rolling, against Mississippi State.
Well, but credit Washington, though. I mean, I know that Jed Fish has a very tough situation up there in Washington, but you saw that it was a very close score up until really the end of that game. I mean, Ohio State only had 3 points up until like maybe 2 minutes left in the first half, and that's an explosive offense. So, I mean, credit Washington with keeping that game tight until the fourth quarter.
Listen, and Jed Fish came from Arizona, right?
Right, right.
He used to be the head
That's
coach
exactly
of Arizona.
right.
So,
Yep.
I mean, and that team was legit. Like, he got them going. They were ranked
Yeah.
year after year with him, and then now he goes over there. We'll see what they can do. So, I mean, and the defense is what, kept them alive a couple years ago with the Jed Fish defense. So, I think that
Right.
we'll see. We'll see what they can do. I don't think Notre Dame will have any problems with Boise State.
No.
Illinois should beat Purdue. But the Iowa State-Cincinnati game, we'll see how that works out. And the Penn State-UCLA game, and, of course, the
Oh, my
Texas,
gosh.
Texas Tech-Houston game. So
UCLA is running into a very, very upset team in Penn State. I mean, a lot of people are saying now James Franklin can't win any big games, and really, since he took over Penn State, he has not won any big games. But I mean, that you don't want to play them after losing that game.
yeah,
You
I
know,
don't
I
think
mean,
so.
and UCLA doesn't even have a coach anymore. Deshaun Foster was fired. I mean, Nico Maliola has not done what he did with Tennessee last year. UCLA is ever since they got rid of remember Oregon's old coach. I forget his name, but he was a coach there for a little bit when they had Simeon Woods Richardson there, and even Dante Moore as a freshman. But I mean, ever since then, I mean, UCLA has just gone downhill.
That's crazy. Well, they have to play on Saturdays to play on Sundays, right? So let's talk a little NFL. We'll start with the Thursday night game, the Seahawks-Cardinals game last Thursday. I was surprised, okay? I'll say I was surprised that the Seahawks won. I think I did choose them to win only because I think that now with the resurgence of Cooper Kupp over there and Geno Smith as their quarterback, I think that they played well. They played very well against a not bad Arizona Cardinals team. So that was I think a good win for the Seahawks.
It was the thing that I really liked the most about that game, believe it or not, was the pattern that Arizona wore and their field display.
Dude,
You may have not liked it, but
no,
I
I
loved the
hated
end
it.
zones, the Arizona flag. I thought it was awesome.
Not only did I not
It
like it,
looked
I
great.
hated it, dude. They looked like two things. They looked like there was spots of like
Yeah,
shit on their
like
jerseys,
tortillas.
or they look like a tortilla shell
Tortillas.
with numbers on them. Like I did not like their jerseys at all. The field was cool, but their jerseys
Yes.
not so much. I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
they were
really.
all dirty. I thought all the jerseys were dirty
Yeah.
the first time that I actually took a look at it. But let's
Well, they're
run
trying to
down-
do this. The NFL's doing this concept now where they're trying to do these rivalry uniforms. Miami's wearing theirs tonight.
Oh, but the
all
Miami
black.
uniform looks cool, dude. I
They look
love
cool.
that uniform. That black and
They look
oh,
cool.
dude, it looks awesome. I love that.
I don't think that's going to help them score points, because
I
they
don't
do
think
lack
so.
in that department. But
I
you lose. But if you lose, you want to look good. If you lose, right?
I mean, I guess, dude. I think that Hill is pretty much out the door. I don't think he's going to stay much longer. I think he wants out of Miami and go to, I would think, closer to the deadline. I think you'll see him move somewhere to a team that has potential in the playoffs. That's just my thought on him.
Yeah.
Who knows? All right, let's run down these scores really quick. Tell me if you want to talk about any of these games. The Steelers go over to Dublin and win the 24-21. I think the biggest thing for me there is the backup Steelers quarterback got jumped before the game.
Heard about it. I heard about it. Yeah, no, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, weird. But here's what I think. The Vikings have 2 games over there, so I think that the Vikings will take care of the Browns this week.
I think so.
It's just, I mean, the Browns got lucky last week, I'm gonna say. So I don't see them beating the Vikings.
Yeah, they blocked the field goal at the end before kicking one of their own by the new rookie kicker that they have. But the thing I was going to say about the Steelers, though, is like, I mean, if DK Metcalf could play every game in Ireland, he'd be the MVP of the league. I mean, did you see? I mean, and he hasn't done much for them, but this was like his coming out party.
Yeah, I have him in fantasy, dude. I know. But
Oh, there you go.
see, I liked the points that he gave me, but this was the first week. Like, do something
Yeah.
like every week. How about that? Or give me some kind of points. He hasn't done anything barely this year, and that was good. That 80-yard touchdown, dude. The guy's fast. He's fast.
Yeah, he is. He's big too. He's hard to bring down.
Yeah, he's really.
And like you were talking about Cleveland just a second. Of course, I watched that game because they played against my Lions, and disappointed in the way that our offense played. To be honest with you, I mean, you look at the score; they scored 34, but one of them was a kickoff, and then the 3 offensive touchdowns they scored, they had a very short field, and they were punting a lot, more than you would want them to, especially after what they did to Baltimore, and especially after what they did to the Bears, scoring 90 total points in those two. Yeah. They come out and they take care of a Cleveland team by 24 points, and it's a blowout. But still, like, they left stuff on the table. Even Jared Goff said, like, this is not enough. Like, we can be way better than this. So look for them to play better next week at Cincinnati.
Dude, here's what I'll tell you is, we always, everybody always talks about any given Sunday, right? Anybody can win any given Sunday, okay? So make that connection for me, because I don't get it. So the Browns take care of the Packers, right? The Packers beat the Lions. And then the Cowboys play the Packers and put 40 on them, but the Lions couldn't? Like, I connect those lines. I don't understand. Like, the first couple of weeks, I'm like, the Packers are going to absolutely win the Super Bowl. There's no question about it. They have a fantastic defense. They have a great offense. Now Love there, and everybody's getting acclimated with that team. Like, I'm like, this team is going to win the Super Bowl, but then they let the Cowboys put 40 on them. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of this NFL season thus far. So I don't know.
The week 1 game against Detroit, I think it was a Lions team that, first of all, they never play any of their starters in the preseason. And I think that hurts. Absolutely. Because you come out, and this was your first actual game opportunity when you could have played in 4 preseason games this year, and you did not even for a little bit. A new offensive coordinator, which we've seen, John Morton's really good. Like, I mean, he used to be with Detroit as their offensive guru behind Ben Johnson, and now he takes over as the OC. So maybe a little bit of adjustment there. But no, you're right. Like, how could Detroit's offense not done as well against that Green Bay team, especially when Dallas was able to put 40 points on them?
Unbelievable.
Like you said, it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense. You know what else doesn't make sense? Please make this make sense to me. How does a team that gets blanked by the Panthers 30-0 come back the next week and beat a very good Washington Commanders team 34-27? Make that make sense to me, dude.
Did Marcus Mariota play in front of Jaden Daniels again?
Yes.
Because that may have been the reasons why. If Jaden Daniels plays, and if Jaden Daniels is healthy, there's no way that Atlanta wins that game, even in Atlanta. But Marcus Mariota is just, I'm sorry. I mean, I love him. He won a Heisman with Oregon, but he's not the guy.
He's definitely not the guy. But speaking of the guy, right? I heard this the other day. I had to tell you while we were on the podcast here. But so imagine this: the 2 best running and I would say throwing quarterbacks the Falcons have had in the last 25 years are 1 letter away from male genitalia. Did you notice that?
Well, Michael Penix with an X at the end here. And I can't think of it. Help me out here with it. Give me a hint.
Michael Vick. Change 1 letter in Vick.
Yes. Michael Vick. Who I don't like Michael Vick for many reasons. Sure. I mean, we got to remember that Michael Vick spent some time in prison because of the dogfighting scandal.
Yeah.
And now he's coaching Norfolk State. Did you know that? Michael Vick's the head coach at an HBCU, which is good for him. He resurrected himself. He's trying to change his image. He had been working with Fox for the last couple of years as an analyst, but but I don't know. I mean, but I did not know that stat in particular. I mean, if you want to call that a stat.
I don't think it was a stat. It's just a little fun fact or a little FF that I like to bring on, but.
Michael Vick. I mean, all you can say whatever you want about Michael Vick and his person and who he is as a person. He's the greatest running quarterback in the history of the NFL. Yeah. I mean, and Lamar Jackson's getting there. Michael Vick during his prime when he was with both the Eagles and the Falcons, nobody could stop that. I mean, the guy was just He was just like a wide receiver / running back.
Yeah, but dude, nobody can stop this guy. This guy either. Jackson is just unreal, dude. He is unbelievable. I don't know. And he has a good supporting cast around him, so I think that makes him a little bit better in the
Lamar?
grand scheme. Yeah, Lamar. Just in the grand scheme of things, he's got more
Yeah,
of a.
So we sacked him 7 times. Did you see that last
Yeah,
Monday?
I
7. And we don't have that good of a pass rush. And we sacked him 7 times. He was awful again yesterday against Kansas City.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know what's going on with him. And Derrick Henry didn't do anything either. So,
No.
again, this NFL season has been one of those weird
Right.
seasons for me thus far. So, hopefully it starts going the way that I hate to say it, the way that it should be, but the way that I don't know, any given Sunday. Let's talk. What were you?
Well, here's another weird thing to me, and a lot of people won't bring it up, is the Houston Texans.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, they
about
just
it.
beat Tennessee, but Houston was 0-3, and this is a team that's been making the playoffs the last few years. They have a great coach in D'Amico Ryan. What is going on with him? C.J. Stroud is a great quarterback.
He is a good quarterback.
So I don't know what's the matter with Houston.
I don't know. I think that they choose to every time I don't pick them to win, and when I do pick them, they lose. Unbelievable. Unreal to me. I think that they are such they have the nucleus of a good team. They can't find a way to put it all together, but I mean they beat a really terrible Tennessee Titans team, dude. Just a really terrible team.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised because they also have a few really good key players on that team, and I don't know. I picked them to win for I don't know what reason, but
hey. Well, I mean, everybody's thinking, they had the number 1 pick. They got Cam Ward, and they thought Cam Ward has yet to show up.
Not existent, dude. He has not been a thing. All right, so we got the trash Saints going to Buffalo and losing as expected, but they hung in for a long time, dude. They hung in way too long. And you know what happens when a trash team tries to do dumb things? Did you see that trick play that they tried to do to throw back to Spencer Rattler? Picked off.
I did.
Ass.
Yeah.
They're just not good, dude. They not good.
And they were exposed big time on the Dalton Kincaid touchdown that Josh Allen threw too. But look, I mean, New Orleans, look at this. There was a play that they almost had a touchdown. Did you see that? That was reversed. That was almost caught at the end zone there. That it looked like originally it was going to be a touchdown, but it was called back.
No,
they did play well, but I think that it was more of Buffalo playing down to the Saints and not really caring. They're looking forward to next week against New England. They're not. Yeah, and they were still even blindfolded were able to beat the Saints. I mean, come on.
Terrible. That's a terrible team. The Patriots-Panthers game I don't even really care to talk about. The Patriots 42-13 just blew them out. Like, Panthers are not good. And then I don't understand that team. And the Panthers do have some decent players. Like,
and Bryce Young, yeah.
They got Bryce Young. Like, they have DJ Moore. Like, they have some players that they could work with, but they're just they can't play together. They're just not good.
A lot of it has to do with coaching. I mean, I don't know if Dave Canales is their coach, and this is now in his 2nd year. I mean, is he really that good of a head coach?
No.
Is he really that good of a motivator? He doesn't seem like it.
No, he's not that good. He's not that good. He wasn't that good as the offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers. He was okay, but again,
in Seattle the year before that.
Right. So, dude, not a good pick there. The biggest shocker for me, the biggest shocker of the week for me was the Giants-Chargers game. Without half of the game without Malik Neighbors, who by the way tore his ACL.
Without him.
Tore an ACL. So 21-18. I don't know. Another game. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think sometimes I know the sport, but then things like that happen. Like, I don't know.
This was only the 6th time in NFL history where a guy made his first NFL started quarterback to beat a previously undefeated 3-0 team. And that's what happened here with Jackson Dart. But I'm not crediting Jackson Dart because he didn't play particularly well.
No.
He just got lucky that Justin Herbert decided to take the week off and everybody on that Charger team.
Dude. And listen, not just because he's my quarterback in my fantasy team. Dude, come on. on, man. You are so much better than that.
Yeah.
The team all around is way better than what they played. Just an absolute just meltdown. I don't even know. The Giants are trash. Jackson Dart, I mean, okay, you got the win.
He might be good. Well, no, he runs well. I mean, don't get me wrong. He moves around very well. But again, like, he doesn't have a good supporting cast. And now, especially with Malik Neighbors out,
Yeah.
I mean, what's Brian Dable going to do? I mean, the Giants may not win another game. I don't know if we play them in a couple of weeks, so we'll see how that works out. But
if
oh
if
my
the
gosh.
Lions don't destroy that garbage Giants team,
I hope so.
Dude, I don't know. Another game that was actually probably my favorite game of the week, I'm going to be honest with you, was the Rams-Colts game. I think that was a great game by both sides. Great coach, great good play calling, good all-around, great, solid football game, and it was 27-20. Great game, all-around great game. I think that was probably my favorite game of the week to watch.
It was great, yeah. And the Colts are now starting to play way better. I mean, nobody thought that Daniel Jones was going to be the guy for that team, especially taking over for Anthony Richardson,
right.
a totally different type of quarterback. But credit what they're doing, because, I mean, they haven't been this good since the Peyton Manning days.
Right, absolutely. So, I like I said, that was a great game. I enjoyed watching that game. All around, good job all the way around. Quickly, we'll hit on the Jacksonville 49ers game. I mean, Jacksonville won. The 49ers are depleted. Listen, Purdy's game back. He didn't do, like, awesome. He wasn't playing like himself. I think, with not having Kittle and Bosa out, and McCaffrey playing. He's not the McCaffrey of a couple years ago.
No.
And Jacksonville also not that good.
No, they're not. And I was dumb to bench Travis Etienne in place of Nick Chubb. I don't know why I did that. Chubb was expected to get more points in my defense. But anyway, San Francisco is probably the worst 3-1 team in the last decade. Right?
Yes.
They barely got by the Cardinals the previous week, scoring only 16 points.
Cool.
All right. Exposed at home by a Jaguar team that's not that good.
No.
I mean, they ran all over them, right? And I wasn't expecting that, but they did. And I don't know. And they're still having to play Seattle twice and the Rams twice. And they're coming up on a Thursday. No, they have a Thursday night game coming up this week against the Rams. I don't see how San Francisco even stays around in this game.
No.
I mean, especially the way that Matthew Stafford has Nakua and Atwell right now playing. I mean, that offense will light up San Francisco, I think so. Watch for the Niners to start regressing.
Yeah, they're absolutely going to start regressing. I don't know what Shanahan's got going on over there, but he needs to figure it out quickly. The Chiefs Ravens game, another weird game to me. Dude, they're also not that good. They're okay. No. But to score 37 points on the Ravens and the Ravens to only score 20, again, like you said, Lamar Jackson had did he even play? Like, he didn't even look like he played. The offense non-existent. I have Derrick Henry. Doesn't do anything for them. Like, crazy to me. No. Crazy.
What's worse than having Derrick Henry is having Baltimore's defense. I mean, already in the first 4 weeks, 2 times they've had negative points and 1 time they had 0. They've only had 1 really good game as a defense, as a unit. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're right. Kansas City looked really good, but they're playing a down Raven team, who is now 1-3. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know about Kansas City. I mean, they're 2-2. They looked really good. They looked like the Chiefs have passed, but they're going to have to show this week in and week out now. Okay. Because they've already been exposed by the Chargers. And who was that second team that they lost to? I forgot the second week, but they barely got by the Giants the previous week.
I know.
And then they beat a down Raven team. So, like, have they played anybody yet? Like, have they had anything to claim that they've done well other than this past week?
No. Like I said, I don't not good, not really that good. I'm really not going to say too much about the Bears and the Raiders game. The Bears won 25-24.
Comeback.
Yeah,
huge comeback there.
Yeah, of course you weren't too happy with that, I'm sure.
No, I was not.
Being in your division, and then of course the last game, the Cowboys Packers. I pleasantly surprised, I guess you would say, as a Cowboys fan, to see score 40 points. You know what I read? I don't know this to be actual truth, but it says where I read somewhere that we have the number 1 offense in the NFL and the number 32nd defense in the NFL. I don't know if that's legit, but I mean, we did score 40 on the Giants and now the Packers, so
Right.
that's a lot of points. So I could believe that, I guess, that we could have the number 1 offense in the league, but also have the worst defense in the league. So,
And that's the thing. That's the thing. You can
that's
score all the points in the world that you like,
sure.
but if you have the worst defense, like it's going to catch up with you at some point.
Yes.
You're just a mediocre team, right?
Yeah, we're not good. We're not that good.
But you showed what an offense that shows up can do against the Packers defense that has Micah Parsons in it now, and they were able to come away with 1 sack against Dak. It was a weird sack too.
But here's the thing. Here's what I'll tell you. I don't know if you knew this, but CeeDee Lamb didn't play.
No, he didn't.
He didn't play,
Which is crazy.
So that's another
Pickens was amazing. Pickens had a great
did
game.
well. Pickens did well.
Pickens was awesome.
Dude, if he could play like that with CeeDee Lamb in and then play together, and Turpin didn't play bad
And Turpin,
either.
What was I saying? Turpin's fast. He's probably faster than both of those guys.
He definitely is. And then they have that Fenoy guy. I don't know if you saw him.
Oh, yeah. I saw him.
He had a couple good plays, but I guess from what I hear is everybody's talking up about him. We'll see. Currently, the Monday
I think
night
the X
game,
factor, though. The X factor on that offense, though, I think a guy that could make Dallas's offense really do way better is Ferguson, Jake Ferguson, their tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, because you have these fast guys. You have CeeDee Lamb when he comes back. You have Turpin, who's incredibly fast. And you have George Pickens, who is probably the best hands guy out of those 3. And then you bring in a guy like Jake Ferguson who to offset the offense. Ryan Schottenheimer, I think, called a pretty good game. I think overall they played really well. And, I mean, I was kind of hoping that they would win, obviously, having the Lions and the Packers in the same division.
Offensively,
but whatever.
Yes.
Offensively, they were great. I mean, and they could do it again. They could do it again against bad defenses.
But like I'm telling you, our defense is so terrible that it doesn't matter what we do offensively, because if you can't put it together, they have a couple good stops on our offense. It doesn't matter because they'll win with scoring every single time.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Right.
So, again, I was pleasantly surprised and somewhat happy of that game. So we'll see again if my Super Bowl prediction is right.
And I don't know about you, but it may have been a very exciting game last night. But I actually think Dallas's best game this year was when they lost to the Eagles. I think overall as a team, that was their best game because they were really in that game against an undefeated Eagle team. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: Eagles again have a squad, right? I mean, I think again they are the ones to beat in the NFC. I think solid all the way around. They always have. They got Saquon. I mean, he is a game changer. And they beat a Buccaneers team who's not they're not the worst, right? They're not great. They Evans didn't play. And again, Ibaka is fantastic receiver.
He is. But all 3 of their wins came in the last minute.
Sure.
So that's the thing. That Tampa Bay could easily be 0-4 right now, and people would be crucifying this team. I mean, they, like you said, they are okay. They're not the worst. They're not the Titans. They're not the Saints, right? But they are a team that could very easily not be 3-1. They could be and they had no chance against Philadelphia.
Well, no, I'm not going to say no. Here's the thing, dude. If you watch the last 7 or 8 minutes of that game, if Baker Mayfield doesn't throw an interception in the end zone, if he doesn't throw that interception in the end zone, what if? I'm just saying, what if he tosses a little bit higher and they score on that play? We're having a different conversation right now. A 4-0 Buccaneers team who would just to beat the Eagles. But, I mean, the Eagles just started off doing whatever they wanted to do in that first quarter.
That's what I'm saying.
They were
right. That's why the Tampa Bay had to come from behind to make it even a close game.
Again.
Right. Because I didn't think that they were going to be able to do that. Well, it was the opposite the week before that because they were blowing out the Jets, and then they allowed the Jets to get back in the fourth quarter there. This was kind of a reversal of fortunes where now they were the ones trying to catch up, and they couldn't get it done at the end. But then you saw, though, how good Philadelphia can be, and they can play in different environments. They can win at home. They can win on the road in a very difficult hot stadium like Tampa where the weather was over 100 degrees on the field. I mean, it's tough. It's hard winning in and out like in the different ways that they do.
Dude, I'll tell you, I was at the Bucks pre tailgate party at Raymond James, right next to there. It was hot, dude. It was a hot one, dude. It was super hot. But at the end of the day, the Eagles came out on top, like I anticipate them doing. I picked them to win, of course. But yeah, who knows? Again, Eagles are the team to beat in the NFC. I think between them, the Lions are. I don't know yet. I'm not going to make a decision yet on the Lions. I mean, I don't know. I've seen two sides of the Lions that I haven't made my decision yet on where they're gonna fall in line here with the playoffs.
We'll see, because on November 16th, Sunday night, the Lions go to Philly to play that game.
That's going to be a game.
Depending on what the Packers end up doing in the next couple of weeks, depending on how we continue, that game could be the deciding factor for the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, and then just really quickly, I know we're up against time here, but the Dolphins-Jets game, it looks like the Dolphins are winning 17-3 right now. They look like they're gonna bring it home. Again, I think that another coach that's on the hot seat right there. For the Dolphins, he needs this one. Yeah, McDaniel, he needs a win here. And it looks like they're en route to that. So we'll see how that game plays out. We got the Bengals and Broncos later on tonight, which I am going to stay up to watch. Then
Denver's already winning that one.
Oh, did the game already start? Oh.
Yeah, it's in the beginning of the second quarter right now. They're up 7-3.
Oh, it's not.
But again, the Bengals are going to have a hard time scoring without Joe Burrow until he gets back.
Yeah,
and that's sad for them because.
Here's the thing. I think Bo Nix is a great quarterback, and he's done what the Broncos have needed him to do to win games. That game specifically, I think the Broncos are probably going to take it. But at the end of the day, without Joe Burrow, I don't think the Bengals stand a lot of chance. But yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, Broncos are up 7-3. Sorry, my computer didn't load, but 7-3.
I think the Browning's their quarterback, right? Browning's their quarterback. Former Washington Husky. A former Washington Husky. All right. Yeah. So you got a former Washington Husky going up against Oregon Ducks. So those two guys know each other real well.
Yeah. Then the Thursday night game, we got the 49ers and the Rams. We'll see how that one plays out. Dude, I'm excited. I want to keep this going, man. I think we're doing a pretty fantastic job. What I'll do is hopefully next week I'm going to try to get in a guest with us. And then maybe we have some good news about the GCSN. That's going to be tough. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. So,
that'd be awesome.
We'll give folks a little update on that. And then, we'll see how that goes, man. Thanks for joining me.
We got Osceola.
Yes.
Yeah, Osceola Seminole, just a little plug for this game, that backyard brawl there. And then it looks like the following week we'll be getting a chance to see Gibbs in their great running game. Or is it Northeast? I'm sorry, it's Northeast against Lakewood, and then we also have Gibbs though scheduled against St. Pete. So we'll see how they do.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go to the Springstead Nature Coast game, dude. That's at Nature Coast. It's at Nature Coast down the road.
Oh, good. So they'll play on a good field and not at Springstead.
Oh, geez, yeah, no. Nature Coast is a much better field. Absolutely. Yeah, no. Dude, and two of my former players are going to be playing there against a lot of their former friends.
That's awesome.
Dude, watch. I'm telling you, listen for this name, dude. R.J. Jones, dude. R.J. Jones. Dude, I'm telling you, you'll hear that name on Saturday soon. And they have a freshman cornerback in Tron Hanna. Dude, great player. As a freshman starting on the varsity team at the cornerback position. So, dude, all around great stuff. We will, we're going to do this again next week. Keep tuned somewhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. Keep tuned to Mic'd Up Monday with Coach Mo. And Alfredo, thanks again for joining me. And, we're out of here.
You.
Have a good one, man.
All right, Coach Mo. Take care, man.
See ya.
Bye.